What's your favorite beer? Number one is free. What's your second favorite beer? Cold. And your third favorite beer is your favorite.
It's said that if you stop being curious, you stop growing. I'm David Wiley. This is Dave Wants to Know.
Craft beer. $29 billion industry. It accounts for about 25% of all beer sales in the U.S. So I got thinking, you know what? I know a guy. And this guy is the head brewer at Dos Desperados Brewery in San Marcos near Legoland, Ryan Talbert. Ryan, old buddy, how you doing?
Dave, good to talk to you, man. It's been a minute.
It has been a while. Okay, so before we get into all the gory details of how, our past and all that, what is the head brewer's job?
Oh man, at a brewery? I mean, so our production's not, I would say there's scales to it. If you're the head brewer at Anheuser-Busch, that's different than being the head brewer where I am. We're a mom and pop shop. We're a neighborhood tap room. I would describe us as. It's a one-man show in the back of the house. I run the whole thing. So I brew. I do all of the cellar work, and the cellar work is like, there's brew day where you make, you mash the malt, you make the wort, you what the yeast eats to turn into beer. That's like one, they say for every hour of brewing, there's maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours of cellar work. I see it through fermentation and then all the way through packaging, kegging and canning. We do canning.
Wow. What is cellar work?
Oh, just washing fermenters, cleaning the tanks. Just not the brew day is the specific where you're mixing the grain and you're adding the hops and stuff. But there's so much more to it.
That's what everybody thinks about is like you're in there.
That's the sexy part. Adding the hops is the fun stuff. No. Washing, dumping yeast and cleaning a fermenter. That's what God put me on this earth to clean stainless steel. That's what I do. Like that's so when you ask the original question of what does a brewer do? Clean stuff. I know a joke amongst the industry is we're janitors, I'm just a janitor, or like I said, I clean stainless steel for a living. That's pretty much it. So that's 89% of the job.
It's not as sexy as it might sound.
No, unfortunately not. It's fun, but it's rewarding. I mean, we have a great tap room where we are. We have a great group of regulars. We're a neighborhood tap room. We're really entrenched in our community. I see the same, this kind of sounds terrible. I see the same, 5 or 6 or 10 faces every day when I get off work. They're in the tap room, ready. They work their jobs. They come down. They have their mugs. We have a mug club. It's the same, the same slew of people every day, and it's great. It's fun.
What do you think it is about?
I provide them what they enjoy, and that's what I'm a craftsman. You're right. It's craft brewing. It's not just big market faceless. I couldn't tell you who the head brewer of Anheuser-Busch is, but amongst the industry, there's Tommy Arthur. He's the head brewer at Lost Abbey. There's names that stick out. David Cook, even at Sam Adams, that's a big craft brewery. And the guy from the commercials, he's there and stuff like, that, but the industry's gone through a slew. You just quoted 25% of market share.
Yeah.
That's more than I thought. I actually thought it was closer to 20. I thought 1 in 5 people drank craft beer, but the industry's in a weird spot right now too. And not to go down a different rabbit hole, craft beer experienced its first downturn, 2024, I think. The economic numbers were the first time it ever took a slight, the wave is cresting now. More people are turning to non-alcoholic. Non-alcoholic is crazy busy right now.
Interesting.
Athletic Brewing is the biggest brewery in America right now, and they're a completely non-alcoholic brand. You can buy them in Sprouts and stuff. Young people aren't drinking. Generation Z or whatever they call them. They're not like your sons. They're not drinking.
They're not drinkers. They do not.
I know. Yeah, your kids' age. They do not. When we were 20 years old, what were we trying to do? We were trying to score beer, right? And just young people are not into it, whether it's health or maybe even like a countercultural thing to what the parents, would do. They say, when the parents, if this is the hippie, the baby boomer and the hippie generation, kind of Generation X,
Right.
partied, and the kids don't want to do that. I don't know. It's weird. Alcohol's in a
Interesting.
weird spot right now. San Diego. We're in San Diego County. We're still doing, for every brewery that goes out, we're still about 1 for 1. For everyone that goes out, one comes in. But nationally, it's the first ever year of a downturn. So we'll
Now,
see.
I
It's
know,
just
well,
interesting thought.
it's interesting you say downturn because when I go to the ones in our area where I live, they're usually pretty busy.
Nice.
But maybe I'm just hitting it at a good time.
Or the
Yeah, I want to
neighborhood
talk.
tap room. I mean, if you guys are local, the neighborhood, that's the model's getting funny too, where you either have to be hyper huge, you got to be Stone or Sierra Nevada or,
Right.
New Belgium, or you got to be big, 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 or you got to be hyper local and you got to focus on your community and just, the taproom sales do way better in house if you can keep it that way. You just need, it's like,
Regulars.
well, or wholesale. Wholesale doesn't, if you want, you make less money in wholesale, right? So unless you sell, thousands upon thousands of kegs for cheaper, you can eat that cost. But if you want to, if you sell pint by pint by pint, in house is where the money's at.
Yeah,
But
profit margin's pretty high, I imagine.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back to when you and I met. And I'm trying to think 15,
It was
16,
November of
oh,
2008. I know exactly what it was.
2008. So, okay, about 18 years ago. Uh, is that crazy?
Well, 17, I guess, but yeah, it would have been,
17. Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm working at an LA area radio station and you have family that was in radio. So that was kind of something you wanted to do.
I was motivated. Yeah. I remember being in high school and all my friends would tell me, gosh, you sound like a game show host. You should be a game show host. I was like, God, that sounds great. Heck yeah. But the trouble is there's only one Pat Sajak and there's only one Ryan Seacrest and there's only one Alex Trebek and there's only one, it's a great gig if you can get it. But so when I was, I was like, I was 18, I think still, 19, whatever it was. My first year in college or so, coming out. Our general manager's daughter I went to high school with, and that's why I kind of got the in to get where we were.
Yeah, so you came in as kind of an intern at first. I think
Oh yeah.
you eventually were like a producer for us.
Well, sort of. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of after I think we
Ish
moved on with the next show. I got kind of a promotion, but not even hardly. Just I think in title only.
title only.
Um,
Yeah, that
but
happens a lot in radio.
yeah, not much
But
came of it that way, except just more responsibility. But no, I mean, I loved getting up in the morning was fun. It's hard to be in 20. I'll tell you this too. I remember being 22, still
yeah,
in college. Yeah, working the morning show with you, and $2 Tuesday, $2 cocktails at the bar on a Tuesday night, and it's like it's 1:45 in the morning. I'm like, I'm waking up at like 4:30.
so do you have any from that time? I know um there's always good with the bad, bad with the good. What are good memories you have from that
Oh man,
time? I know we met a lot of celebrities back then,
yeah, oh yeah.
which was kind of fun. Any favorite stories or times that you remember?
Radio people are awesome. Radio people are wonderful people. They really are. I remember, you know, my father in radio always told me that too. That you guys were. It was fun. I remember, Dave. Some of my best stories are coming over to you in the newsroom, and because we weren't. You had segments periodically throughout the hour. You weren't on all the time, unless
Right.
there's breaking news or something. But uh, you and I would always make the jokes of like, I still do, Dave. I still do this to today, where oh, Dexy's Midnight Runners, oh, that's my favorite song by them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
Eddie Grant.
famous
This is my favorite Eddie Grant song.
couple
Electric
of
Avenue.
one-hit wonders. Yeah.
Top three for sure.
Sure.
I still do that to the guys at work right now.
And I remember that there was a rock station in the same building, and
Oh, yeah.
Rob Halford from Judas Priest, who's one of my favorite singers of all time. I'm a rocker from that
Yeah.
period. he came in, and from then on, you and I had this kind of inside joke that he was a friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Rob Halford,
Right.
close personal friend.
Any celebrity that ever called in
Yeah.
or waltzed in, hung over themselves.
Oh gosh, I remember Matt, because sometimes I would chaperone them down the hall. They'd start down the hall,
Right.
and I'd bring them over. Bill Bellamy, he was on like Mad TV,
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Tall comedian, and he was
Sure.
like, "Hey man, I'm chilling." I'm like, "Hey, what's up? I'm bringing you over." And he's like, "Yeah, man, I've been drinking tequila in the limo on the way over." I'm like, "Cool, dude."
Oh
It's
boy.
like 7:45 in the morning. Cool, man.
I think it was
Get it?
Pauly Shore couldn't lift his head off the counter.
Oh gosh,
I,
that was
I
actually,
won't.
I think that was just before my time. I never met Pauly, but
Well, I won't. I won't speculate why. Let's just say he was very tired.
oh man,
Very tired.
oh yeah,
But you
going all
mentioned
night.
your dad. Now, for people who listen to, especially talk radio, uh, in the Los Angeles area, would know your dad. Tell us about your dad.
Well, my father was his on air name was Mike O'Brien. Um, that would he was on
KFI in the
KNX.
sky.
Well, yeah, the last 8 years or so
Yeah.
was KFI. He was KNX 1070 actually for longer, even longer than that.
Interesting.
KNX didn't let him have as much. They did traffic and weather on the fives. They were very, they had a
Yeah.
very strict schedule where they were really on it that way. And he was on KNX for like 25 years, 24 years,
Right.
something like that. And then he was on a contract, so when they released him, KFI picked him up right away. My father, Mike O'Brien, and then Will Kohlschreiber, who still still does stuff right now for KFI. They got snatched up, and they're over on KFI now from KNX. And KFI is a little more loose with it. They let
Right.
Dad always really enjoyed that his boss would tell him like, "Hey, let it go. Like you can say homeless in Canada. You don't have to say, you can say homeless fire. You can say, you can be a little more blue with it. I will rein you in if you are a little too off the collar." And it gave him a lot more freedom and flexibility to not be so, tight under the collar. And he really enjoyed that. My father, I would put it up against anyone, was the best airborne traffic reporter in the history of time. I mean, which is kind of a weird niche position, but and he had the one-liners. If you know the LA area and the freeway off ramps,
Mm-hmm.
And Kelly coming up on Kelly, your soggy cornflakes at Kellogg Interchange, and there you would take Moses to part this Red Sea of bondage, the red brake lights, and
Nice.
he had so many one-liners and zingers that way. And he was.
Yeah, I remember when you first came to the radio station, we first met you, and you were like, I need an on-air name. I need an on-air name. And you were talking about going by Ryan O'Brien.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, I don't know.
A little too sing-songy, yeah.
Too sing-songy. And so one of our guys ended up giving you a nickname of Chili.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was Brian Casey. Yeah.
Yeah. I like out of nowhere. Just he goes, yeah, no, we're not going to call you Ryan. We're going to call you Chili.
Well, then his name was Brian. It was too close.
Yeah, and so you didn't want Ryan and Brian and Brian. And was it the food or being cold?
No, it was the first. I think of it like chili pepper personally, but the first ever, something hot and snappy. That was like that's why all in the industry have. I think you use your Christian name, but many people don't, right? Like,
most don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Brian Casey, he's like, Benji, Chili, something within the first day he came up with it. So that's funny. And also when you bring me on, because you've only ever referred to me, for you to call me by my Christian name, Ryan, that seems weird to me. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I still call you Chili outside of this interview to this day. But so back to your dad. Your dad is, if there's a legend in the traffic world, he's on the Mount Rushmore. Okay, absolutely. But unfortunately we lost him not too long ago. He had just retired.
No,
and it
well,
was pretty
KFI got rid of the airborne. They
okay.
cut air.
Well,
Remember he
that's what
called.
they call retirement in radio, because that's
Forced
what
it.
they did to me too. I wasn't airborne, but they said, "Yeah,
We're not doing
we're
news anymore. Sorry.
right."
They get
So
their
they
news from
got
their
rid of
phone.
airborne. So he
Yeah.
basically
Remember
at
the
that
day he
point
called me was
retired.
it was December 2nd, so it was a little over a year ago. Like
That
13
he
months ago.
passed.
He called me and cried and was like, "They let me go today." And I thought it was about his health. His health
Uh,
was declining, and I thought it was something worse. He's like, "Oh, you lost your job. Shoot." But yeah, we lost dad in August.
and he's still a young guy. And I don't want to get into
60, you
his.
just before his 64th birthday. Yeah.
Wow, yeah. I know he had some health issues, and we wish you and your family still all the best and
Appreciate that,
condolences
man.
on
Thank
that.
you.
He was a great guy, a Rams fan.
Oh yeah.
I've seen you
That's why
guys at
the
Rams.
Dodgers won the World Series and the Rams are winning the Super Bowl. Okay, mark it. That's what the
All
Kings
right,
probably won't win the cup, but the Rams are winning the Super Bowl.
but for you, let's come back to the radio station. So you and I kind of became friends, and I don't know if people notice, there's a little bit of an age difference between us, but for whatever reason, we hit it off. And you lived somewhat close to the radio station. I did not.
In town.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and at that time, I remember you saying, I'm home brewing." So out of curiosity, I went to your house one day, and I'm like, no, this isn't a guy with like a little kettle on the stove. You had a full blown operation going on. And I was like, wow. And then you came to me one day and said, I'm thinking maybe I have an opportunity to maybe learn, like professional beer making. I don't know if that's what you call it, brewing.
Brewing, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My family in Michigan owned a big production brewery, so I had a fantastic opportunity to go there to get on the job training, basically. A lot of guys, say they started home brewing, and I mean, and a lot of I guess I would say this: a lot of industry types kind of roll their eyes at well, I'm a home brewer. It's like, oh, great, cool, you know. I mean, yeah, you could fix your own car, but there's guys that like build them and stuff, or like it's I don't know if that's apples to oranges either, but like you homebrew scale of production, it's beverage production. It's not just, I made this batch, it's 5 gallons. I mean, if you didn't do it right, what does it
Is that
cost
the
you?
main difference?
I would say scale, scale, economy of scale. And yeah, if you screw up 5 gallons, it costs you $80 maybe, or
Right.
$100. It's not thousands of dollars, and the ramifications are not there. And the other thing too with homebrewing, and this is something like from a professional mindset, is the replicability, taking notes, repeating it. Oh, this worked. Let's, when I first actually, so I've been brewing for like 10 years from my Michigan family and trying to start my own place. And during that time, while I've been waiting, I got hired. I've been at Desperados, as you referenced, for 1 year now, kind of still waiting to get my own thing going. So when I came in, and we're pretty established, we're the oldest brewery in San Marcos now, and we have a great loyal fan base. I'm like, I can't screw this up. I can't come in and start changing things. Number one. Number two, a lot of people in a bar, not only bar accounts, and they rely on it to consistency, and say what you will about Budweiser and Coors and Miller. You can crack a Budweiser in Siberia or in South Africa or St. Louis, Missouri, or China, and it's going to taste the same because that's how it's supposed to be.
So as a craft brewer, that's a challenge, is
Consistency
to
is
when you
big.
find a recipe that people like,
Yeah.
You got to deliver it the same each time.
Consistency is huge. Yeah, especially.
Okay, so let's get back. You went to Michigan. I believe you and your brother went to
Yes.
Michigan for a while, and then I kind of lost you after that, and we kept in contact. But
Yeah.
you ended up coming back, and over a period of time, you and your brother opened, was it 1075?
That is what we're the family brewery. Yes, that we're working on.
So it was open for a while, was it not?
We opened. we got our alcohol license with the state of California. We
Right.
had a building, we had a property, we have equipment. We opened up, and kind of without getting into details, we didn't like tell the city we're going to open a business, and they didn't like
Oh,
that. So,
well, yeah. Okay. So,
oh no, okay, I take it back. Sorry, we had a business license with the city. We didn't have some of the occupancies and inspections they want to see. That's more what it was as a public gathering
so
space.
you might have put the cart before the horse a little bit.
Well, I'd say we were much more team ask for forgiveness, not permission types. That we
Yeah.
wanted to. We had a building. Hey, we're just fixing it up. We're tenants. We own this.
Right.
We're
Right. Right.
this is tenant improvement, TI they call it. You know, oh, we have to do what? Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. And we just thought like, oh, we'll just okay, we'll go along with what they
Or
want. They go, no, 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 no. They kind of put the moratorium down on us until we get a lot of.
yeah.
I mean, without the government, Dave, how could we do anything? I just don't know. I
I
don't
know
know.
we're all helpless without them. And
Thank you, government. Thank you.
having stepped foot in some of the local microbreweries here,
Sure.
um, I've talked to some of them, and they've explained to me about the amount of loopholes and rules and regulations that just to get the door open. So
Yeah,
when
every
I
city and
when
every
I
county is a little different, but right, yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, when I heard your story and your struggles, again, not getting into the details, but it seems like I've heard this from more than one
sure.
brewer.
It's very
So,
bureaucratic, and yeah, and I was gonna say the fun thing is this is the ripple effect from prohibition. This is a 100-year ripple effect from
really? How
yes,
so?
absolutely, yeah. Like England and Canada, if you go to a different country, to Australia, whatever, they didn't have a prohibition. There's no, alcohol regulation's way different. In this country, it's because of prohibition. Every state's different that way. Um, and even as it's as strict as California is as a state on many legal things and laws, and
Right.
California's actually pretty cool with alcohol. As far as like would have a way harder time in Utah getting an alcohol license, and even in Texas and Florida, as loose as they are on guns and certain things, they're pretty strict on alcohol. And county
Interesting.
by county is different. California is pretty actually, I would say, slow with the California process, slow, bureaucratic to send stuff to Sacramento, but relatively not that hard to work with. Easier than you might imagine. And I don't want to give California too much credit, but not too bad actually.
Okay.
But
Let's get away from the government. Let's talk beer.
oh,
Okay.
you want to talk to the government?
All right. So you're a brewer. So
Yes.
you know what the beer is supposed to taste like. You know what goes into the beer. So educate us. I mean, guys like me just go in and I look and I'm like,
Heck yeah.
they have all these funny names, IPA, a lager, you know,
I was just
what
saying, on
is
a side
going
note,
on? How
I
do I
brought
know? Oh,
I was
there's
saying,
the 1075.
I brought one
Yeah.
of my beers. I brewed this, I think, 2 years ago because we've been shut down in the bureaucratic process, and I want to try it. And I don't know if it's going to taste any
It's
good. It might
2 years. All right.
it
Here
might be
we
quite
go.
terrible.
1075.
It might be quite terrible. It's a stout,
And
so stouts hold
it's
up
just
good with time.
oh, that is a
It's a
thick.
dark. It's a stout. Yeah, it's an oatmeal stout.
Are we allowed to drink on the David Wiley podcast?
I don't know. You make the rules, don't you?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're in charge. All right. It might be terrible, so I don't know yet. But
Would you tell me if it was?
roasty stout. You know what? For time, that held up pretty dang decent. So I'll take it. So I'll
All
sip on it.
right.
Okay, all right. To answer, all right.
Is
So for a normal gentleman who walks in the bar,
and I don't,
yeah,
I just want something. I don't know. Do I want something strong? Do I want something light? What do you got?
people ask me
What
a
do you,
lot what my favorite beer is,
uh,
and okay, there's all right. Side anecdote. The anecdote is, what's your favorite beer? Number one is free. What's your second favorite beer?
yeah.
Cold. And your third
Okay.
favorite beer is your favorite.
Okay.
Um,
So
and
free,
people ask me,
cold.
what's your free, cold, and then your favorite. People ask me a lot too, is what's your favorite beer? And I go, well, that depends. The way I see it, there's a slew of variables of what time of day is it? What's the weather like, especially? Are we eating a meal? Is it, if it's 110 degrees and I'm in Lake Havasu, I'll drink 15 Michelob Ultras. But if it's a snowy cabin in Mammoth,
responsibly.
I'm not driving the boat. No, I don't do the boat.
Responsibly,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. No,
So
I'm just
I'm a passenger. I'm not. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not driving. Yes, I could drink 11 beers on 100, and even in golfing. You golf. There's a sweet spot. It's kind of like bowling too. There's a sweet spot. You can't have too much. You can have a little bit, but like if you, I mean, on a hot day on the golf course, yeah, I could drink a beer a hole, but you'd be donezo after by the front 9 or whatever.
So can you explain to me, let's get back to
Yeah.
like
Sorry.
so lager,
Yeah.
can you explain some of the differences between like
So
a
all
lager and
beer,
a stout?
you think of it almost like all beer is either lager or ale. It's like beer, and then there's lager and ale, right? Those are yeast varieties, right? So Saccharomyces cerevisiae is ale, and Saccharomyces pastorianus is lager. They are both. Saccharomyces means sugar fungus, so they eat sugar. Literally, yeast just eats sugar and poops out CO2 and
Huh.
ethanol. And ethanol is what it's a
That's what
ethanol is
makes you
actually
happy.
well, yeah, ethanol is actually a neurotoxin, like, and it will kill you. But at a low dosage, it makes us
It can
feel
be a lot of
funny.
fun, yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So, fermentation can occur. Wine is fermented, beer is fermented, kombucha is fermented, hard cider would be fermented. Cider and wine are in one family, and then beer is in another. So to speak. Beer gets you need sugar to make alcohol, basically. So beer sugar comes from grain, and it's malted barley, overwhelmingly. There's wheat in some beers, there's oats in some beers, but overwhelmingly it's malted barley. And so carbohydrate sugars, you mix, you break open this barley, you mix it with hot water, almost like you're making a pot of coffee, just it's big. And you're taking carbohydrate long chain sugars with a chainsaw. Essentially, a chainsaw is the hot water, the enzymes, and they start just going. You just start. Yeast wants simple sugar. I mean, you can make how they make booze in prison is with candy, Jolly Ranchers and water, toilet water.
How would you know that?
You could do it. I mean, it wouldn't.
So,
I bet it tastes horrendous. Or beer in the Middle Ages, back before Louis Pasteur, the father of microbiology, is beer must have been awful rank for a long time. I can't imagine drinking what people would have drank, 200 years ago or 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago. They
you don't
debate
know
if
what you
beer's,
don't know.
well, yeah, they debate if beer is older than bread. It's really kind of like it's liquid bread. Did bread come first or did beer come first? They're kind of like kind of one and the same. But yeah, without sanitation processes and the refrigeration and the keeping it cold and stuff, it was probably terrible for a long time. Only in the last 150 years have things been so different. I mean, from the Industrial Revolution onward, and understanding the science of like water chemistry and microbiology, and it's gone.
It's really a science. Now, you were telling me though, there's a funny part to it. You guys now you do all the brewing, and that's the sexy part. But
yeah, right.
but
the hops.
but the canning and the cleaning.
Oh yeah.
You were comparing it to like
janitorial
Lucy.
Work.
Well, or
What?
to Lucy.
Oh yeah. Well, that's just so that's the production aspect. And earlier you referenced how are home brewers different than production brewers? Well, production. I mean, yeah, you make if you make 5 gallons of beer, even if you take all the time to bottle that, it's like what is it, like 45 bottles, 60 bottles, something like that. They're 12 ounce or 16s. So they're like 40 or like 65. Whoop-de-doo. You did, you did 2 cases. Good work. Like that's, yeah, we're doing thousands of cans. And I'm small. I mean, we do about our canning line, gosh, I think we do a keg's worth in about 10 minutes. We can off a keg. It's just easier for us. You can do it off the big tank, but we do about 5 cases in about 10 minutes, which is like 120 beers. give or take. In 10 minutes, that's quick, but that's not even quick compared to Budweiser and Coors are just flinging beers.
Yeah.
That stuff just flies. It's insane. They do 1,000 cans a minute.
And I'm sure there's lots of love in that room when you guys are doing it.
Like I said, we put on the music. It's a party. Oh yeah, canning day is a party. But it's mostly the cleaning and the mold abatement. Mold grows where there's wet and water's everywhere, and not so much not in the beer, but like on the outside surfaces and stuff. It's
right.
I run a really tight ship. I've seen other people's brew houses and I go, I wouldn't do it that way. I wouldn't, I'm proud of the way I keep things. It's everything is cleaning. Cleaning is godliness for sure in the industry. Absolutely. And that's
so. If people are in the San Marcos area or they're bringing the kids, dropping them off at Legoland and want to go have a few, where do we find Dos Desperados and come say hi to you?
Our logo is Dos Desperados. We're located at 1241 Linda Vista Street, and that's or Linda Vista Drive, I guess. That's in San Marcos. If you were taking off Highway 78. So 78 runs from Escondido to Oceanside.
We'll put the address in the
in the lower
comments there. Hey, you mentioned music. I'm asking everybody this. What are you listening to right now? What?
All right, so I don't know where I picked this up. I started doing this. I mean, I listen to sports talk radio podcasts usually. Generally, so if I'm caught up on that, every day of the week I have a different genre. Because you have to, if you listen to the same thing every time, it's going to drive you nuts. So in the brew house on Monday, it's Metal Monday. So that's Judas Priest Pandora for close personal friend Rob Halford.
Rob Halford, friend of the show.
Rob Halford. Tuesday I go Yacht Rock usually. Yacht Rock Tuesday. Okay. West Coast Hip Hop Wednesday. So that's like NWA.
Hey-o.
That's a bit of a wild card for me, even because people will go back like, "What are you listening to?" I'm like,
exactly. Yeah,
you don't know Eazy-E? Come on, you grew up out there. You're from Covina or Glendora?
San Gabriel. It's not quite the
not quite Compton. Okay. I go Reggae Thursday for Toots and the My Tall Thursday. I like Reggae Thursday, and then Country Music Friday because that's what feels like it belongs on Friday. Is beer drinking music with Toby Keith radio. I like 90s country a lot.
Well, the girls like country music.
Well, that's true too. I don't like new stuff though. Like all the girls like Morgan Wallen. I bet he's a fun guy to drink a beer with, but I'm not. I don't like his music. So,
well, maybe he'll drop in Dos Desperados and change your mind.
I won't hold my breath, but if he does, that'd be cool.
One final question. There's another one I want to ask everybody. Bigfoot, real or not?
Bigfoot. Oh gosh.
Not quick.
It would be cool if he was real, but I just feel like we would have found a carcass over how many years, and we would have found some. I mean, there's a lot. Gosh, what was I heard about the thing the other day, the San Gabriels in like Mount Baldy or whatever.
Yeah.
They were throwing rocks, and apparently that's a thing. But if he exists everywhere from Seattle to like Florida, and we've never found a dead one, how is that possible? So I don't know.
So you want to believe.
Kind of, yeah. I'm open-minded to that. It could exist, but it just doesn't. We would have found a dead one by now. Where's the skeleton? Where's the Bigfoot skeleton?
Well, I'll tell you what. You and I need to get together at Dos Desperados and have a couple and talk about Bigfoot. All right.
All right. Well, let me know. I listen to Coast if I'm up late enough, driving late enough. I'm open-minded to stuff. Or maybe it's an alien or an extra outer dimensional thing. Maybe if that's the case, then that's beyond explanation. But if we have dinosaur skeletons, why don't we have a Bigfoot skeleton?
Good question. We'll leave it there. Ryan Talbert, head brewer at Dos Desperados and a good friend of mine, enjoying some 1075 brew. And thanks for being with us and talking about beer and radio and, of course, your dad. It's been fun to see you and catching up.
Dave, it's been a real pleasure. This was a lot of fun. It's been great to talk to you. And yeah, man, I mean, anytime you want to drink a beer and talk, I can talk about beer for hours. But we only did like 30 minutes, so
Well, maybe we can have you back, and we'll do that.
anytime.
All right, bud.
You've been listening to Dave Wants to Know, the David Wiley podcast. Special thanks to guest Ryan Talbert, head brewer of Dos Desperados in San Marcos, California. Be sure to rate and subscribe to Dave Wants to Know. We'll see you next time.